It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our actions with others, in our external environment, and if we want to see changes in our life, we do need to shift and change the energy within. So I've already done the shuffle. I was live on Pearl's Prayers before this, listening to some tunes. And if you ever want to catch the shuffle, you should probably just make sure you're following me on TikTok and cross your fingers because it's never at the same time. But I try to aim around 3 o'clock on Fridays, so you can join me for that. And I usually just chat and shuffle and do a little smoke cleansing, which is already done. Okay, but I have all the cards in front of me, and I'm doing a special treat today. It's the Friday thinking, saying, or thinking, feeling, saying, doing reading for masculine and feminine, but I am doing 4 decks because I wanted to look at the union. I feel like I've seen people in union, people coming into union lately, and so I wanted to look and see if the cards were showing that that is happening and that that is favorable. So let's just begin. So the first position we're going to start with, I grabbed the masculine energy first, and I've got the thinking energy for him, and I just want to check and see if all of these are in reverse or if this is just a special treat. Nope, just a special treat. Love that. Okay, so we have for the divine masculine the devil in reverse, and we have the 7 of Wands in reverse. I'll flip these over so you can actually see what is on the cards. So we have the Cosmic Tarot in what would be considered like the mind, and the heart would be the Tarot of the 78 Doors. There we go. And it's in reverse. And this is what he's thinking about the connection. Okay, let me look at it for a minute because there's a lot going on. So first of all, I like a devil in reverse because a devil in reverse is I was obsessed. I was constantly focused on this. I was constantly thinking about this. Having a connection with somebody was literally my main focus forever and all time. Okay? So if your person is a person who's leaning into their masculine energy, then having some kind of a connection with them was your focus all the time. And you've stopped doing that. And the 7 of Wands is a card about having standing your ground, having a healthy boundaries, but it can also, when it's in its shadow, which we saw this in its reverse, it can also be about fighting off your success, actively pushing away your success by holding on to something that you're obsessing over that is preventing you from moving forward. And it could even be holding on to fear. You can hold on to fear. It can be consuming you. And it's just like you can't enter that cave because if you open up that door, you don't know what you're going to find. So the masculine energy has been thinking that he has really been avoiding this connection like the plague, because of this fear of being very obsessed with this, and also recognizing that it is by holding back what one truly desires, we hold our whole self back from progress in our lives in all areas. Hi, Abundance, Love, Joy, welcome, good to see you. So there is a recognition going on there, like this person is actually thinking, me being afraid of, like I'm hearing ball and chain of being like codependent or being stuck with someone or being stuck in something, or whatever that is keeping me from actually being successful in this connection that I want, because I do want to have success. The other thing I'm seeing is that I could have been blocking my success with my sexual desire, shallow sexual relationships, unfulfilling stuff. I have been blocking myself from my true fulfillment. That's what the masculine is thinking about connection with feminine energy. The feminine, what's she thinking? Okay. We've got Ace of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands She's looking pretty exhausted. And then we have the Hermit. I have so many friends that read cards that a lot of times when I hang out with them, I'll just shuffle the cards and be like, Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, and Hermit. And then it'll be like, ah! And I just felt all of my guides collectively being like, shut up, okay? So Divine Feminine is so exhausted from waiting for someone to make some kind of an offer to come into some kind of a union. It's like, look, why are we still like, why are we still behind these separate, like in these separate places? Like if this is a long distance relationship, like why am I still here and you're still there? And why when we're planning for the future, are we planning stupidly? Like why are we like, okay, I guess I'll find my own apartment in the place where you live. Why are we doing that? Why wouldn't the conversations at this point be like, listen, I know that I want to live with you. I know that I want to build a life with you. I know that I want to have a family that has been broken apart in my heart or whatever, come back together. I want to have like everything I've found on my own in this journey of enlightenment. I want to now plant the seeds of that. So why am I alone? You asked me about this connection, and the only question I have for you is, why am I making plans for our future by myself? After all of the healing that I have been doing, why is this still what is happening? Can someone please explain it to me? I can't take it anymore. I'm fucking done. I can't think about it. I don't understand. So I'm in this like freeze mode of being like, what do I do? What do I plan for? What, like, and I feel this frustration with like your guides where you're like, I want a person in my life when I plan my life. So why are you asking me to plan my life without a person in it? It doesn't make sense. Especially when there's a person who is clearly wanting to plant a seed with me and doesn't. What is going on? Please answer me. Thank you. Now, I so relate to all of that. Makes so much sense. Okay. The next position is, so that was, I kind of combined thinking and feeling together because we had the two decks. Usually when I do this reading, I only use 2 decks instead of 4. So now we're going to do, what are they actually, we just did thinking, what are they saying, and then we're doing what are they doing. So that is what they're thinking, and then this is what they're saying. Divine Masculine, we have the Prince of Swords here, or the, oh, this is the Knight of Swords, I forgot. This is the Knight of Swords in this deck because it's Princess, Prince, and then King and Queen. And then we have the high, hang on again, let me just see. Yeah. Okay. So, I have a thing where I shuffled the deck. It was in reverse. And so when that happens to me, I know that there's been a huge turnaround in the Divine Masculine's life. And it was something that he didn't know until he started to do something. It's like he didn't realize that everything was all turned around. And then once he tried to do it, he was like, oh no, everything's going in the opposite direction. And I didn't realize like that had happened. Okay, so that's a vibe I'm getting. So back to this position. What is he saying? Well, the Knight of Swords coming out with the High Priestess is interesting because what he's saying is he's actually being very clear and forthcoming and communicating quite a lot. So if you're like, the person that I'm focused on is not doing that, well, then that would probably mean that your person is not a match to your current masculine energy. Your current masculine energy is in a place where they are communicating and they're telling the truth and they're in their integrity and they're revealing things that have been hidden. Things, and I think they might even be talking about their own spirituality or their intuition, or they, in some cases, they may actually be asking, this is weird, but for very specific people who are tarot readers, the person that matches you is asking you for tarot readings, or you're giving tarot readings to this person, and it's helping them to see very clearly. But this is what they're saying to you. So they could also be saying that they believe that you're very intuitive, that you are a high priestess. They could be saying that they find you intimidating, that you know everything about them. Those are all some of the things that are being said. And if those things are not being said by the person you're focused on, that is a huge clue for you. That person is not who you think that person is. Because the person that matches you would be doing this in some fashion. Okay, Divine Feminine, what are you saying? This is why I did 2 decks, people. There's the 9 of Wands. Divine Feminine, absolutely in union here in herself so far with that. And she's in union on, I have done all the healing. I have done it. I no longer am in a victim mode, right? I've definitely worked through this victim mentality of my past. I've become stronger and I've persevered. And what I'm saying to you is I have deep feelings and emotions, and I know that you do too. And I'm really tired of you just floating on top of them. I'm really tired of you just trying to coast and not actually go deep with me into emotion. I need that. I need more from you in that respect. Now, in some cases also where you are speaking to somebody and they're communicating with you, you're also saying to them, I think that you're sensitive. I think that you're caring, kind. There's this guide energy that's coming from here. There's this loving, protective energy that's coming from this card. You could be saying you want to travel with this person, that you're tired of being alone and you're ready to embark on some kind of an adventure with someone else. So those are the kind of conversations you might be having. If you're in the situation where there is no contact, the other meaning for this position where the person might match you is you might be communicating with other energy and your person is trying to find out about it. And what you're saying to that person is, instead of asking the tarot cards, I'm tired of you doing that. I'm tired of you hiding your feelings and always seeking information and knowledge about me through spying or whatever. I'm tired of that. And I want you to open up and communicate directly with me. So that applies to those of you that have somebody who's not communicating with you. Okay. The next position, what are they actually doing about all of the things that they're thinking and saying? So we have, for this Divine Masculine, the 8 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. This is why I'm fairly confident that your person is in communication or about to communicate with you, like within the next 24 hours. Because the 8 of Wands coming out here with the 4 of Cups is somebody that's saying to me, I am not going to miss this opportunity to communicate with you. I refuse to do that. So I'm going to absolutely communicate to you. And I'm going to tell you what I've been dreaming about. Because I do think that with that Devil card and 7 of Wands in reverse, I think there was a lot of obsession and a lot of fixation, a lot of imagining, and a lot of things that were, kind of exciting, but also really frightening, causing them to put up barriers or boundaries, causing them to keep things to themselves and not express it, or even to panic and pursue other energy, sexual energy, to try to quell this fire that was building up inside of them to have something more with you. And I think there's also probably going to be a discussion for those of you that have been in a cycle with this person about how they may have hurt you. And in not accepting your offers to communicate or to be open or to pursue something in the past. And also that they want to do something to make up for it. I'm seeing a key here, and that they know that the key to solving this or to fixing this is to talk to you. But yeah, this is definitely somebody who is actually communicating and telling you their dreams. If you're in a current connection with somebody, or you're talking to somebody, or in the early stages, they are definitely telling you, like, the next step for them is to tell you what their dreams are, like what they're thinking about with you. I do think they're probably pretty scared to do that, but I do think that they're going to do it. What Divine Feminine is doing, well, we have the Two of Wands and the Ten of Swords. And so for Divine Feminine, there is this very firm stance that's a Mars and Aries energy, which is very, very, very action oriented, very restless, which is like, yeah, I'm planning to leave you. I'm planning to leave any energy that continues to make me wait. Like, I'm not waiting for anybody. So anybody who is making me wait, I'm heading out the door. I am not I don't need to wait. It's not like I don't have options, or I don't have things to do, or places to go, or people to see. And anybody who puts me in that position clearly doesn't know who they are enough to know that I'm somebody that you scoop up right away. You don't make me wait for anything. So if you give me any kind of feeling like you're not going to want to be interested in planning, or, planning our future, like, together, I don't care how much of a quote unquote soul connection we have. It's not enough to keep me waiting for you indefinitely. Because I'm done with being alone. You saw my Hermit energy in the beginning of this reading, and I am not interested in it. I'm exhausted by it. It doesn't make sense. It's unnecessary. And so, yeah, shit or get off the pot at this point. Divine Feminine's like not having it today. So, what does the Divine Masculine need to do to bring more harmony to what he's thinking, saying, and doing? We've got a big no shit coming here. We've got the Six of Pentacles and the Death card. Yeah, you have to stop the breadcrumbing behaviors, just only giving a little bit, just, try, or nothing at all in some cases. You have to transform the way that you have been acting in connection with feminine energy. If you are a person who has been giving more than receiving, you need to stop doing that immediately, because that is what is killing your ability to have a healthy connection. If you're a person that has been taking more than you are giving, you need to stop immediately, because that has been killing your connection. And if you've been in a relationship or a situationship with somebody who doesn't give, and you wonder why they won't give to you even though you give so much, the reason why they won't give to you is because you give them so much. And they don't need to. They just don't need to. You have taught them this lesson. You've taught them how to treat you. You've said, you don't have to give me anything, and I will give you my heart. You don't have to give me anything, and I will be devoted to you. You don't have to give me anything, and I will just be monogamous. I won't even see other people. I'll be completely loyal. Now, you don't have to... Relationships are not necessarily supposed to be about quid pro quo. But good relationships are certainly not ones where one person gives everything and the other person takes an active dump on the other person's head. So, and you know that. And you don't need me to tell you that. And when you go to bed at night, you're like, I don't know why I'm in a relationship like this, or why I accept this treatment. It's because somewhere down the line, you learned that is how it was appropriate for you personally to be treated. Even though you probably wouldn't let your friends be treated that way. You wouldn't let your children be treated that way. You wouldn't want your mom to be treated that way. But it's okay for you because there's something wrong with you. So you have to, you gotta make up for it. People wouldn't just love you for who you are, so it's okay for them to treat you. No, that's not wrong. That's not right. There isn't anything wrong with you, but somewhere down the line, you arrived at this conclusion, and so now you've stepped into a lot of situations where you accept a lot less than you deserve. But that's over. That's over for feminine energy. So if masculine energy that has been in your life that has been like that, if they have just not been able to give you anything, and I don't want to hear your excuses. I can hear I hear a choir of voices that are going, yeah, but you know, he has this and he's this and this and that and there's this going on and there's this and all this and that and that. So you know what you're doing when you're doing that? You're giving compassion to someone who has not had 1 second to sit there and think to themselves, you know I have all these things going on and I know that it's very problematic, but I can feel that my person is in a lot of pain when I'm continuing to hold them in this pattern. And I am so worried and concerned about them that I'm going to do something to make sure that they aren't in pain and suffering because I'm concerned about them and I'm thinking about them. And if you want to know why your person isn't doing that, it's because you're thinking about their feelings and not thinking about your feelings. And so then, because everything is a mirror, that person is thinking about their own feelings and they are not thinking about your feelings. So the only way you can get someone to think about your feelings is if you are considering your feelings. And if your feelings are being hurt, and if your feelings are not being, your needs are not being met in a connection, and you're not thinking about that, and you're putting the other person's needs in front of you all the time, not sometimes. Sometimes we have an accident. We fall down, hurt ourselves, and we need someone to put more time and energy into us because we got hurt, right? Sometimes we have grief or loss going on in our lives, and we need a permission slip to take the time to go through that. Sometimes, but that's not what you're doing. You're doing this all the time. All the time. And that's why you don't have energy that's coming to you, giving a lot to you. Because you have not been very good at receiving it. You have been much better at pushing all the energy out into people who need it so badly. And you feel so much for them. And you've been pushing it out and pushing it out and pushing it out. And then you've been going, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't feel loved. I don't feel nourished. I don't feel nurtured. And it must be because of me. Because people don't love me. People don't want to nourish me. People don't want to nurture me. And that's not the reason. It is because of your kindness, compassion, and loving and caring to the point of trying to overcompensate for something you feel isn't good enough that is really causing you to have these issues. So, what does Divine Feminine need to do to create more harmony between what she's thinking, feeling, saying, and doing? Bitch, you need to sleep. This is the rest card, the Four of Swords, also the prayer card. And then this is the Chariot card, which is all about surrendering. Your mind is really going at it. You are having a hard time. You've done so much, and it is definitely time for you to receive something, and you know it, but you're a little too focused on what you're not receiving to actually step into a place where you receive it. And so the solution to that is very simple. It's gratitude and trust. I am grateful for all that I have. I trust that I will continue to have this and more. I'm grateful for everything that I've received. I know that I will be receiving endless amounts of abundance through all of my days. And I'm so grateful for that. So stepping into letting your mind just take a rest, trying to figure out what's going to happen, who's going to step up, when you can plan, what you're going to do. Maybe the reason why you're not allowed to plan with your person right now is because you're not supposed to make plans. You're supposed to allow the universe to show you, like, isn't it, what's the quote, like, God laughs at all of our plans, you know? Just allow yourself to be guided. Allow yourself to be led. Because I think you're about to go on a pretty exciting journey, and and what I'm feeling from you is a little bit of frustration and defensiveness, and I need more than this, you know, and I feel like that's gonna not go well for you if you keep keeping that energy. Okay, let me get now the happiness potential. So, what is the happiness potential for this connection. Oh my gosh, so interesting. Okay, so you know how we started off with the devil and the 7 of swords or 7 of wands in reverse, and I told you that this is an energy of facing off also against your fears, like no longer letting them be in control of you, etc., wanting to get out of this energy of obsession and fixation, and that you recognize that your behaviors have actively prevented or blocked your success in that regard. And then what do we have here but the happiness potential being solved with the 6 of wands and the devil card coming out together now. So this is really interesting because I think there is a feeling that it was going to be almost impossible to overcome that devil energy. Whatever you were obsessed with, whatever you still think about, whatever you're fixated on, there was this feeling of like, I'll never stop thinking about this person, this connection, this outcome. I don't think that I'll ever let it go. And because I won't ever let it go, then I won't be able to move on into this next phase. I won't be able to be successful. And your fear about that is being overcome. So that bodes well for you. And then for the feminine, we have the 2 of swords and the page of wands. So the 2 of swords is about having to make a painful decision. And then the page of wands is about being childlike and exploring and allowing yourself to discover new things and having fun and playing. One card is like a frustrating energy of standstill, and the other card is this energy of like a spark and movement and excitement and adventure. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing your comment, Luna. That's so true. I forgot you told me that earlier. So what I see for divine feminine is, rather than being in this position where you feel like your choice is between a rock and a hard place, you need to change this perspective and realize that that's not what's happening. What's really happening is you have the ability through your decisions, through your decision-making process, to have fun, to actually explore all of the things that you have been creating since you were a child. Like different connections with different people, different potential endings, different outcomes. And if you can play with them and let yourself overcome whatever you've been stuck on, thought that, oh, I had to have it this way, it has to be this way, it can't be any other way. What do you mean? Like, what if you respond, like, okay, so like, let's say you have a rule where the only people you normally respond to on a dating app are people who actually write something instead of just liking your photo. And then you open the app, that's your rule, right? You're like, they have to say something to me or else I won't, talk to them. They have to show me they're going to take initiative. So you scroll through and you happen to see this person and you click on it, you see their picture and you're like, oh, they're attractive. You like how they look. And then you're reading it and you're like, oh, I really like what they're saying. And then you scroll down the rest of it and you're like, dang, like this person that liked my photo, like I do like them, but they didn't say anything on my photo. And I just know that I need that in a relationship. Like I need a person to just say something and not just like, and so you just swipe left because you're like, well, they didn't do what I was attached to. But what if you don't do that? What if that day you're like, well, you know what? Maybe they didn't think they had a shot with me because I look fucking good in my profile right now. I mean, maybe they were like, I like her, but she'll probably never say anything to me. And maybe when I say something to this person, they're just going to be like, oh my God, I'm so excited that you started talking to me. And they're going to start talking to you. Maybe they're going to be a great connection. And maybe they're going to be the kind of person that's like, you know what? I have this job, I have this life, and I don't care. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, I'm going there now. And it's going to happen fast, and your head's going to spin, and you don't even realize. You are not allowing those experiences to happen when you are holding on to a twin flame, a soul connection, an ex-partner, a past person. You're not doing that. You're staying stuck in the Two of Swords, and then you're wondering why this person is keeping you stuck in the Two of Swords. And it's not the other person that's keeping you there. They aren't tied. You're not tied up by them. Thank you for the roses, Luna. You're not tied up by the other person. You're tying yourself up. You're not letting yourself play or explore or have fun or initiate connections. And there's no reason for it because there's no virtue. Like, your person doesn't see you as virtuous. Your person doesn't see you. They only see themselves. If they saw you, they would tell you, please stop waiting for me if I can't be with you, because I don't want you to miss out on this life because of my inability to catch up with you. I need you to go be awesome, and I'm going to watch you shine, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy, and I love you so much, and I wish it was different, but I need you to do that because I won't be happy unless I know that you are pursuing your dreams that I can't help you achieve. That's the only acceptable thing for the person to say or do if they can't be with you at this time. If they're watching you, if they're mooning over you, if they're jerking their dick over you, if they're constantly pulling on thoughts of you, if they're like, oh, I don't want her to be with anyone else, if they're like wishing that your newest relationship would fail so that they could, what, continue to spy on you and not say anything? That's not love, folks. That's obsession. That's devil energy. That has nothing to do with you. You might feel like it does. It might hurt your feelings when I tell you that it's not love. You might be like, no, I know it is because no one's ever focused on me this much. No one's ever paid this much attention to me. No one has ever shown me through these really vague, subtle, secret signs that no one else can see or experience but me, how much they love me. You're right. No one else has done that because no one else would be such an asshole to do that. That's an asshole thing to do. That's something you do when you're being an asshole because you have a lot of wounds and you're avoidant and you're anxious and you're not doing anything to take care of that. You're not getting help. You're not going to a therapist. You're just sitting there and going, oh, I hope it changes tomorrow. I hope tomorrow will be different. I hope tomorrow my person will, I don't know, come do everything I need so that we can be together because I can't do any of the things I need to be together with you. Stop. Stop keeping yourself stuck in this pattern with this person. I don't care how good they are. I don't care if you have a ancient Egyptian connection to them. I don't fucking care. I don't care because I know what love is and I know what love feels like, and I know that if you feel not good after having thoughts of someone or after having them notice you or recognize you in all these ways you're talking about, it's not love. That's not what love feels like. So I hope everybody who was here today could hear that. Those who had ears could hear. Those who had eyes could see. Because I think that message will really help you today. And know that if you are truly meant to be with someone, there is nothing and no one that can prevent that from happening. But it's not necessarily going to happen tomorrow. So your choice is to be like, well, I'm just going to wait some more. And then when I'm done waiting, I'll wait because I'm virtuous. I love this person. They're the only one for me. Okay, well, 20 some years goes by and you're still in the hermit energy and you're still exhausted and you're still isolated. And you're still lonely, and you're still sad, and you're still grieving, and you still don't feel loved and nurtured. So, who is the problem in the situation? Because no one is keeping you there. That's a choice you're making. Okay. Know your worth and forgiveness coming up. So, this is what divine masculine energy would say to the feminine if he could communicate properly. Listen, I've come to know what I value and know what I believe in, and I am putting my best, most authentic self on display from now on. Because I know that I can be proud of who I am and what I have accomplished. I know my worth. I know that not everyone will agree with me or share my values, but I can walk with my head high knowing that when I express my integrity, others can feel my authenticity and will be inspired by it. I am going to be who I am, and if my reputation precedes me, good. I have much to be proud of, and I want you to be your best self, the true you, 2. All right, divine masculine, that's a step up. I like that. I feel that that's a good sign. And I dig it. And then I see forgiveness coming out here. So now I'm getting a strong sense that divine masculine would like forgiveness for not knowing your worth before, because he did not know his worth. That's a very strong feeling I'm getting. It's number 40. Forgiveness doesn't have to mean weakness. To be forgiving is to understand that every human being makes mistakes on their way to remembering who they really are and from what they're really made. Loving yourself enough to forgive another is key right now, and sometimes that other being is you. Let yourself off the hook. Offer yourself grace. You are always doing the best you can, even when you go against your own loving nature. This applies to all human beings, so hold yourself and others to a standard of grace rather than perfection. The toxin of unforgiveness will poison your life, but the grace of unforgiveness can bring a revolution of healing. I just realized that my microphone is so funny. Now that I'm at the end of the reading, I will put the microphone back down. But it should have been much lower during that entire reading, and I had it up for when I was recording my vocals, so I apologize to those YouTubers if it was, like, echoey or anything. My apologies. Okay. So, that forgiveness card is beautiful, and I do think the masculine energy is forgiving himself for not knowing his worth, for not valuing you, all those good things. Okay. Now, divine feminine, what you would say to the divine masculine. Ant spirit, protection message, time to co-create. It is the magician energy, number 1. And what you would say is and just remember, this is also your heart speaking to your mind, so but you know, it's what you would say to your person too, probably. Do you really believe that you have to do everything yourself? Do you believe that somehow any help you get will be disappointing or not good enough? Perhaps it's time to address your issues of control and bias toward the negative. It doesn't matter where or why you came to be pessimistic or mistrustful. The fact that I am showing up now is a sign that you have an opportunity to heal and to relearn to trust that others will show up for you in a genuine way. I want you to remember that your expectations and limiting beliefs are a vibrational offering that draws in the opposite of what you desire. Spirit wants to help us and will send collaborative partners our way. It's time to see the universe as conscious and connected, loving and helpful. But you must participate in this activity of co-creation. Creating reality is not just about dreaming. It's the beginning of the reading. It's divine feminine being like, why am I planning for things by myself? And the divine masculine realizing that he has to communicate to divine feminine about what he's dreaming so that they can plan things together. This has to happen because it doesn't make sense for her to be, should I go here? Should I go there? Should I do this? Should I do that? When he knows that what she should do is aligned with what he should do. And they should make those decisions together, which is why divine feminine needs to surrender decision making to a higher power, because that decision she wants to make with someone else, what the universe is telling you is, I am bringing you the partner you need that is going to make decisions with you about your future. If you stop looking for this person where they are not, I can allow them to show up in your life. I can guide you to them, and then you won't be making plans for your life by yourself. You will be making plans together with this person. Do you see how that came together all very nicely? This is why I read oracle cards at the end of my readings. She goes on to say, if you are feeling orphaned from community, reach out and communicate. Jesus Christ! If you feel vulnerable, know that being present in your vulnerability can help you draw in someone who wants to assist you. Trust in your partnership with spirit, and your outer conditions will start to reflect that. Then you will see the miracles waiting for you, including partners who appear ready to lend a hand. There are a lot of people here today who absolutely needed to hear this message. I know you, I'm friends with you, and it's also me. 100%. I hope you heard that message. I'm going to go back and watch this video once it's posted to YouTube in a little bit. Oh my god. Okay. And then we're getting the wish card here. The wish card for the feminine energy, which is number 29 in this deck, which is, by the way, Unlocking the Secret Garden Oracle. The other one was the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. This one is by Angie Sullins and Gina Delagratalia. 29. Remember when you were thrilled to pick a dandelion and make a wish, sending the seeds of that wish all over the yard? Wishing is a vital part of the creative process and the key to making dreams come true. Don't let yourself get jaded from not having. Don't shrink for a world that tells you to work hard, be practical, and keep your expectations low. Only by allowing yourself to wish with a full heart can you send the seeds of your dream out into the world's yard where they may take root. Now, follow them on the breeze and tend those dream flowers. Your passion and willingness to dream and do creates new gardens for the world and your own soul. So, I think you need to start dreaming about being in partnership. I don't think you let yourself do that. I think you insist that you need to do things alone because you don't want to get your hopes up that there's going to be a partner when there's not going to be a partner. But that is planning to not have a partner. Can you see how that's planning to disappointment? If you want to avoid disappointment, then what you have to tell yourself is that whether a partner comes or not, I am whole. Whether a partner comes or not, I am successful. But I wish for a partner to come. I'm dreaming of a partner to come. I'm allowing myself to imagine that because that is the only way that I can start to create the energy of that happening. If you have been holding yourself in that defensive Nine of Wands isolation energy, in this restless energy, and one of the reasons that you've been attached or holding on to somebody who's no longer in communication with you or never was, you may be doing that because you may actually be afraid to really allow yourself to wish for something more than what you had. And at some point in time, the wish that you had with that person that you're holding on to was a big wish. Like, it seemed like it was everything you ever wanted. But you might have not really revisited that wish in a long time and looked at how it doesn't actually have a lot of what you wanted in it, the way that you thought. I used to think I wanted a specific life in the music industry. And then I went and lived and worked in the music industry in Los Angeles. And I liked a lot of it and I had a lot of fun. But there was a lot of stuff that was really not fulfilling to me. And I was waiting for there to be this moment where I was like, oh, when I get more, notoriety, when I get more followers, or when I get higher up, I'm going to enter into this place where the people there, feel good and don't have, drug and alcohol problems because they're living the life of their dreams. And they, use their money for good causes, and they all feel good together. And, guess what? That doesn't exist. That's a fantasy land. The higher up I got, and I got high up in the music industry, I was sitting with people that I was listening to when I was in high school and admiring. I was in studios. I was in Dr. Dre's Ironwork studio listening to freaking, I can't think of, just name dropping anyway. Big time shit being dropped before anybody could hear it. I was sitting there passing a blunt around with these people being like, fuck yeah, I'm in the music industry. And everyone was miserable and unhappy and sad and in terrible relationships. And a lot of them didn't even really have money, but it just looked like they did. And the parties were boring. They were really they were honestly boring. I was at cool rooftop parties with fucking Nigel Godrich and shit, the producer of Radiohead. It was my dream. I'm like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. And I would go with my sister, and we would all be decked out, and we would dance. And I'd be like, this is so boring. Everybody that would be there was just trying to be seen. They're like, I'm at this cool party. You're at this cool party. We're all at this cool party. There wasn't really a bunch of interesting conversations happening. I was like, oh, I must need to get richer. I must need to get more Grammys so that this will be cool or good. It never happened, guys. So part of me wants to just think, oh, well, that was just because, like, you didn't have, like, a lot of money and stuff. But it probably would be fun next time if you went back and you had, like, a nicer apartment and, like, but I know that's not my dream anymore because I went and did it and I was like, ew, I don't even like going out parties at night. And my whole job is to sing wicked late because I was a headliner in my last couple of years there. I was like, yay, now I'm a headliner. Okay, you know what headliners do? They go on at fucking 11 p.m., 10 p.m. So now I'm going to be up until 7 in the morning. And I don't want to be. I want to go home and go snuggle with my husky. That's what I want to do. And she's going to wake me up early in the morning and I want to go outside with her. I don't want to be at a party with a bunch of people that don't feel good about themselves and are unhappy. I don't want to do that. But I do want to make music. And I do want to play it for people. And I do want people to see what I can do and be like, wow, you're great at that. And I do want to do those things. So now my life is going to be different. I'm not seeking that same experience I was seeking. And it doesn't mean I wouldn't want to be with the person who I thought was going to fit in that experience. If that person were to approach me, but I do know that I would say to that person, yeah, I don't want to do what you've been doing. I don't want to go to, like, all the parties you go to. I don't want to do any of that. Like, not unless it's something I really care about. Sorry, I'm not into that. I don't want to do that. It would be so different. It wouldn't be anything like I originally wanted. So surrender your old self-concepts idea of what your pinnacle experiences are, your peak experiences. Because I have a feeling your peak experiences are going to be so different now than what they used to be. All right, I have 2 more cards for you just to close this all up. The first one is something I want you to practice this next week in relationships. And this is from the Amenti Oracle. It says, I respect the property of others. Very interesting because we have almost this Ace of Pentacle here, sitting between 2 people who are holding on to it. And if you are saying I respect the property of others, that should be being reflected back to you. And I want you to think about what this would mean for you to respect the property of others. What property? What does that mean? Does that mean like the heart, someone else's heart? Is that sort of a property type of a thing? Are you respecting your heart and others' hearts? Like, think about how this might apply to you, because it's going to be different for everybody. I'm going to read from the book too, but that's coming up. And then your self-care for this week is nourishing your temple. It's number 38, and I'll give you your mantra and your journal prompt for that card as well. But first, let's take a look at the Amenti Oracle. As I recall, finding these cards is always a little bit of a annoying thing, so bear with me. Here we go. Yep. I always look for the the last word. It's easier to find. I speak positively of others. I act respectfully of others. Where is it? Number 4. Okay. All right. So this book says, the word property has multifaceted layers of interpretation. It can define a quality or trait belonging to another person, an effect that an object has on another object or on the senses, or something that is owned or possessed, or a virtue. In viewing the notion of respecting the property of others as an ideal to embody, looking at the layers of the word can assist you in getting to the root of its spiritual context. The properties we possess, spiritually, mentally, physically, or emotionally, and the properties we own are 2 sides of one coin. As the inner spirit reflects to the outer world what manifests, and what we surround ourselves with in the sensory space are a direct reflection of the invisible intrinsic force within us. By the same token, we also reap what we sow, so every action, inaction, good deed, or use of poor judgment will find us in time. In embodying the ideal of respect, we are reminded of the first ideal to honor virtue, in particular its pillar of prudence. By maintaining a balanced heart and mature mind, we are called to respect the property of others because there is no other. And as we respect the inner and outer effects of one another, this good karma reflects right back to us. By practicing good judgment and exercising reason, we are reminded to see the properties of each individual from both the metaphorical and literal perspective as a resonant song within our life symphony. And other is anything other than other. There is no separation save for the illusion of the material world. A respectful person is a virtuoso of virtue. As you are confident in divine providence, and by being a trustworthy friend to all, you live in alignment with honesty in all of your decisions. These are deep, these cards. I haven't used them in a while. Probably since I was in LA, maybe even. Okay, and finally, nourish your temple, 38. So your mantra for this card is, I nourish my body with healthy food, clean water, and positive self-talk. When you take pride in how you care for your physical temple, you glow. When you nourish your body consistently, tending to it as you would something sacred, others pick up on the radiant light emanating from you. It is often that intangible positive vibration that people notice and compliment but don't entirely know how to put their finger on. Tune into your body and ask it what would feel nourishing. Sit or lie down and place one hand on your heart and the other on your lower abdomen, and then ask, what do you need today? You may find that your body calls for you to eat healthy food or for a movement practice, even if it's just simply stretching. There may be a beauty treatment that comes to mind, like a body scrub or mask, or maybe your body wants to be adorned with the jewelry you save for special occasions, or with a new lip color. Let your intuition and the signals of your physical being guide you in the right direction to nourish yourself on all levels. What is your body calling for, and what can you do to nourish it more? So what is your body calling for, and what can you do to nourish it more is your journal prompt. And I would recommend that you explore that. I have said this before, but I've been doing readings for years. I used to do the reading, and then I would watch the reading, and I would be listening for information about my person. Because when I do the reading, I'm not really paying attention. I'm channeling, and then later on, I go listen to it, and I'll be like, oh, I actually get information about my own situation from my own readings, which is one of the reasons I started doing readings. It's 4:40 while I'm talking right now. And so I used to do that. I would just listen to it, and I would be like, oh, okay, I'm going to listen, find out about my person, get the tea. And my life wasn't going anywhere. Nothing great was happening to me. and I was just like, why is nothing changing? I don't understand. And then, I don't know, probably in November of 2022, which was a really rough time for me, I was finally like, you know what? I'm actually going to do the self-care activities at the end of the readings. I'm actually going to take the advice from these readings. And I have seen consistent improvement in my life since doing that. So I highly recommend you actually do the things that I recommend at the end of these readings. If you feel stuck and you wonder why you're stuck and things aren't moving, it could be that you really are not taking certain actions. I'm sure you're taking actions. I don't think there's any of us in here that haven't been, writing, journaling, manifesting. We're all doing that stuff. But you might not be taking certain actions that you're overlooking. Like maybe you're doing a ton of manifestation stuff and no self-care. Or maybe you're doing a lot of self-care but no self-love, because self-care and self-love are different. So I would highly recommend listening to my advice. All right, everybody, I am done with this reading. I will give you just a few announcements. There is a sale going on right now. Everything's marked down. Go check that out, turnedintarot.com. Half price on intuitive guidance calls, significant discount on the I think the $55 one is marked down to $33. I don't even remember what I did, but I did mark some stuff down. So go check it out. There's a yes no reading, there's a video tarot reading. Both of those are video only. The intuitive guidance call is an actual virtual call with me. So I highly recommend. I highly recommend. I keep saying that. I highly recommend. But I recommend checking it out if you want to get a discounted virtual session with me or book a reading. And I have also a membership there where you can see the Tell Me Everything reading, which I will be doing that tomorrow. And the way that I do that, if you're familiar with my style, is that I do part of it on YouTube, and then I've been finishing it for members. So if you want to see Tell Me Everything readings in full, because I have full-length ones, over 100, you can go to that link, select Pearl's Prayers, and choose your level of membership. It starts at $1, so, and everybody has access to everything. So I hope you take advantage of that. And I think that's all the announcements I have. Thank you so much, YouTube. And I will be doing personal readings over here on TikTok if you are interested. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.